is a KSL Decision 2016 special report.
It is my high honor and distinct privilege to introduce to you the President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
It's time for us to come together as one united people.
Breaking overnight, Donald Trump is waking up as the next president-elect of the United States, while one of the most memorable elections yet comes to a close this morning. Good morning to you. With Andrew Wittenberg and Lori Pritchard. It was a tumultuous and divisive campaign. It is now over. And new this morning, Donald Trump, officially the 45th president of the United States, winning voters over with a promise to make America great again.
Now, there's a good chance you went to bed last night not knowing the full results. It wasn't until a little after 12:30 a.m. our time that the Associated Press called the race for Donald Trump. NBC News followed suit shortly thereafter. We'll have much more on this morning. But first, we want to get a quick check of our forecast with Grant. Happy Wednesday to you, Grant.
All right, and a good morning to you guys. We'll make it real quick here. No big change in the weather. We've had the sunny, warm weather lately. It's going to continue. Murray's up to 67 in the sunshine. Bluffdale hits 65 in mostly sunny skies. And again, cool. Certainly not cold for this time of year this morning. It is 43 at the airport. Price jumps into the 60s, 79 in the sunshine. And St. George, full reports coming up. We're going to talk about how much longer the stretch lasts when we finally start to see the winds picking up a little bit, helping to mix the air. That's coming up.
And thank you. 6 o'clock now on this Wednesday. Make America great again. It's the slogan that seems to have won over American voters on Election Day 2016. Breaking overnight. Donald Trump crossing the 270 electoral vote threshold a little after midnight our time. A candidate with no prior experience in the military or in elected office, surprising nearly everyone in the world of politics every step of the way.
And this morning, we have not yet heard from Hillary Clinton publicly. Now, her campaign manager told her supporters overnight to go home and get some rest. And that was before we got word that she conceded the election to Trump. So we'll be watching for anything from her campaign this morning, as well as live reports from Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump's headquarters.
We'll also take a look at the impact the results of this election will have on your finances. We want to go first this morning to Shara Park in the Breaking News Center for more on those developments overnight. Good morning to you, Shara. Boy, a lot coming in.
Good morning to you guys. Yeah, a lot coming in, a lot of reaction to President-elect Donald Trump. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But first, let's talk about the race to the White House here when we get to these electoral votes. Trump coming in with 278 of those electoral college votes to clinch the victory. Now, Hillary Clinton had 218. This morning, 4 states still have not been called for either candidate, including Arizona, Michigan, Minnesota, and New Hampshire. If you take a look here, Florida and Ohio read very early on last night, but likely after you went to bed. He also won Pennsylvania, a lean Democrat state, many thought. All battleground states that we'd been watching, that we said we'd look at closely. Well, Trump did very well in those states. Lori?
All right, Shara, thanks for that. Now let's take a look at the closest race here in Utah. Well, many thought would be close. It was for Congressional District 4 between Mia Love and Doug Owens. Incumbent Mia Love is the projected winner this morning after facing the Democratic challenger for the second time.
Really excited to go in and work with President-elect Trump. So to see that if all of the things that he talked about will actually happen. So we'll see.
Now, a reminder here, not all the votes are counted, but here are the latest numbers we have, and it's a much wider margin than the race was between the two 4 years ago.
In the race for Utah's Senate seat that was going to be contested, Republican Mike Lee, the junior senator incumbent in the United States Senate, faced Democratic challenger Misty Snow. He is the projected winner this morning by a wide margin. Projections gave him a landslide victory early on last night. More projected landslide winners for Utah here for the Congressman Jason Chaffetz from the 3rd District here in Utah against Democrat Stephen Tryon. Chaffetz is the projected winner there this morning as well.
And the party continues for Republicans here in Utah. Rob Bishop retains his seat as the projected winner in the District 1 race against Democrat Peter Clemens. And in District 2, same story, Representative Chris Stewart is a projected winner over challenger Charlene Albaran.
Now, thousands of voters in Salt Lake and Utah counties decided the fate of 2 large school district bonds. We'll begin in Alpine. The Alpine School District asking voters for some financial help, and they supported it overwhelmingly, more than 2-to-1 margin for this particular bond. That means families in that school district will see 13 total new schools, 4 of those will be rebuilt schools. Also in the Jordan School District, they'll get nearly $250 million to build 6 new schools. This one passed pretty easily. Proposition 1 in Salt Lake County, costing taxpayers about $17 per year. New schools would be built to accommodate growth in Harriman, in Bluffdale, and in West Jordan. Lori?
Andrew, let's talk about the Jordan School District because they tried to get this approved 3 years ago. It took a reduction, though, in the price for voters to finally approve this bond. And Brittany Copeland live this morning at West Jordan Middle School to show us where your money is going. Brittany.
Good morning. I'm here at the middle school, West Jordan Middle School, and this building is over 60 years old, so perhaps it's due time for something new, something brand new. Let's bring in Susan. She is with the Jordan School District. You're the president of the board. And what is the reasoning behind this? Why is this bond so important? And why are you so thankful that this got passed?
I am so grateful that it was passed last night with the voters. We have over 9,000 students that are expected in the next 5 years in Jordan School District, and we need seats for those students.
This building, mentioning how old it is, I know there's been a few other buildings in the school district that have been replaced that are just around the same age, so it's due.
Yes, this building, as you mentioned, is almost 60 years old, and we have such a challenge with the mechanical systems and with structural problems, and it really costs a lot of money just to keep this building up. And there are difficulties with providing a really adequate education. For instance, technology systems in this school are a challenge because, of course, it wasn't built with technology in mind.
Well, coming up in the 6:30 time slot, we're going to tell you a little bit more about the plans. Hopefully, you're able to see some of that through some of the video that we have. But it's going to be a long process. It's going to take a few years before the 5 new schools are built, and then the rebuild of the middle school will happen. We'll have much more details on that coming up.
Letting you know where your money is. All right, Brittany Copeland live there from West Jordan. Thanks, Andrew.
All right, guys, thanks. Back to the presidential race this morning. We're still waiting to hear word from Hillary Clinton after her campaign chairman spoke to supporters in New York late last night. Watch this.
Everybody should head home. You should get some sleep. We'll have more to say tomorrow. I want you to know, I want every
Still no word yet as we're joined by Tracy Potts live from the Clinton campaign headquarters this morning in New York. Tracy, any news on when we'll hear Secretary Clinton actually speaking?
Later this morning, maybe in the next few hours, we're hearing it. By the way, we've moved to Democracy Plaza, where there was so much excitement overnight counting these votes, and the counting is still going on with the popular vote. But Donald Trump has secured the electoral vote that he needs to win and claim this presidency. So looking forward today, we're waiting to hear from Hillary Clinton. We're waiting to hear from President Obama, who issued a statement saying that he wants to say something to begin the healing process of this divided nation. He's also invited Donald Trump down to the White House tomorrow to begin the transition process that he says his team has already, Obama's team, the president's team, has already been working on for a year. And of course, people want to hear more now from President-elect Donald Trump. He did a wide-ranging speech last night where, interestingly, he spent quite a bit of time congratulating Hillary Clinton, talking about her years of service and gratitude for her years of service, the same years of service that he had criticized in the debates over the last couple of months. But it was a very gracious speech where he talked about her, and he talked about the direction that he wants to take the country, saying that this should be a nation of opportunity for all. And so while a lot of people are waking up stunned, including around the world, we're getting world reaction in now of people congratulating President-elect Donald Trump.
Interesting to hear it put in those terms, Tracy, because Donald Trump will have a sizable job to do in bringing back what was a divided country on Election Day. We appreciate the update from New York City. Now over to you, Lori.
Let's go to the markets. This morning's opening bell uncertain. Dow futures sinking lower than 9/11 overnight. NASDAQ, S&P futures temporarily halted.
Now it becomes a guessing game as to how badly hit this market will be in the morning.
So the question for us this morning, what does that mean for you and your money? And joining us is Shane Stewart, Deseret Mutual financial planner. Shane, thanks so much for joining us. The day after 9/11, people sold. So Is there some sort of concern that that possibly could be the case today as we look at the Dow futures?
Absolutely. It's quite a bit of a concern. It was much more of a concern last night when it was becoming clear that Trump would win. And the reason for that is the Hillary Clinton wins, it's the status quo. It's a Democrat in the White House. Markets don't like surprise. Last night was a bit of a surprise, and so when Trump became the clear winner, the market futures went way down. Fortunately, this morning, they've tempered a little bit. Instead of a 4 or 5% down, futures are now down about 2%, which looks like it might turn out to be just an average down day.
Average down day.
Right.
So for the people looking for the opening bell this morning, no need to panic here.
Right, and even if it were going to go down 4 or 5%, this is a temporary thing. Fortunately, the long-term markets are nonpartisan. So once we get these things settled, we should have a little bit of stability going forward. Things like Donald Trump reaching out to Hillary Clinton and even people in his own party to offer an olive branch and move forward, that is very helpful for the markets as well.
Okay, so for those of you out there who perhaps might be retiring in the next year, hold on to your hat. It will be okay.
Don't panic.
Right. Don't panic is a message. We'll talk to Shane a little bit more coming up in this hour. Thanks so much for being here with us and talking about the markets this morning. Meanwhile, we're going to send it to Grant Wayman on this Wednesday morning. Do you look at our forecast? Hi, Grant.
All right, Lori, good morning. More mild temperatures here early on this morning. No surprise here. Right, look at Olympus Cove. Temperature right now is holding at 50 degrees, 43 in Holiday. It's up to 39. A couple of cold pockets there. That's in Sandy, and Alpine's 37. But for the most part, temperatures in the 40s this morning. Lots of sunshine. Climbing into the low 60s at noon. 65 this afternoon. Again, very warm and hazy sunshine. Wear something that you would normally wear in, say, early October. And once again, you are good to go. The stretch lasts a while. We'll tell you how long that's coming up.
A live look now at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. This morning, the Trump family's new home come 2017. Still ahead, he was heavily involved in the 2012 election. This time, he got a chance to see how it all played out. We'll talk to one-time aide of presidential candidate Mitt Romney, Kirk Jowers, on what a Trump presidency means. That's next.